I see a lot of fear, and I see a lot of uncertainty. I see also surprise, shock. Every voice matters and every story resonates.
Thank you, Karen, for having us here. So tell me, what is this place? Where are we?
So this is the hangar of Fricktal Schubfahrt Aerodrome. It is the place where I have learned to fly this plane. And it's a special place for me.
We have something in common.
Yes.
We are both affected by the same rare disease. But today, I really don't want to talk too much about illness. I would rather talk about flight, about what keeps you rising and what gives meaning to your journey. You had to wait 18 years to get a proper name on your disease.
Correct.
During all these years, how did you cope with the waiting, with the fighting, with proving that what you felt was true?
Let's just say that in 2006, when I was diagnosed, I actually did not know that there was a different type of this condition. Over the course of 18 years, I learned a lot more about myself as well as people like me. And the wait was really towards the end of the 18 years or so, because I felt that I knew I had the signs and symptoms of immune-mediated necrotizing myopathy. But I think it's good to know at the end what you actually have, because this may help to drive the future for this disease area. And also it may give me the options for future treatments for this condition.
I know that you are very involved in the myositis community. You do help other patients to navigate into their journey. What parts of yourself do you recognize in them?
I see a lot of fear, and I see a lot of uncertainty. I see also surprise, shock. However, I also see a lot of hope. I see a lot of strength in other patients like yourself, because once I think you go through the stages of grief, as you would if you lost somebody, but you also lost yourself or your previous self. I think the third stage, where I see a lot in a lot of patients, is they tend to help others. So I think this is a stage that perhaps you and I are sharing right now, that we want to help others because we have been through it ourselves.
You mentioned strength. And people, including me, we do see in you a lot of strength and a lot of energy.
Thank you.
What do you think we don't see?
I think you don't see the worry, maybe. And I think the worry comes from just not knowing what the future will hold. And I think the second thing that maybe you don't see from, I physically feel weak. I think also one of the things that I learned as a patient is that it's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
Even if it's to pull a 1-ton plane out of a hangar, it's okay to ask for this help.
What being in the air gives to you that sometimes life at the ground doesn't?
One of the things that I enjoy very much living in Switzerland is the mountains, so the Swiss Alps. I can drive to them by car, but one thing that I can't do is to climb them. And I think the plane actually gives me a different perspective, because then I I'm free like a bird. And I think that gives me a feeling of I have overcome the mountain.
Obviously, I'm not a pilot, but
You can be.
I can be. But from my understanding, flying demands both control and letting go.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that somehow it mirrors some things in your life?
I think that what flying has taught me is several things. You need to be very disciplined. You know, being in control of yourself, your mind, and your body is one thing, but I think that sometimes you have to let go. In flight school, one of the things that we learn to do is to go around. You always have the option to go around. There's no shame in going around. It's a safety reason. It's better to go around than to land badly and, go off course or to hurt somebody else. This lesson is very much for many things as well in life. If you see that something is not going the way that you want it to go, think about, can I go around it? Can I find a different way to do this? And find ways to cope with it. And this is very much the same for living with a rare disease as well as for flying.
If you look back at your journey, at the path that you have taken, mm-hmm. What are you the most grateful for?
I am actually grateful for myositis. It's probably going to sound very strange to some people.
I don't think you are the only one thinking about that.
I think looking back, I have what I have today because of the experience that I had with getting very sick. I think probably I would not be here, standing here talking to you. I would not have learned how to fly a plane, probably.
That's true.
I would not be living in Switzerland. I'm from Singapore, so it's a very far away. I'm thankful for the experience of having the rare disease because it has given me a different perspective of life. And there are many positive things that came out of learning to live with a body that doesn't listen to you. And also the people that I have met along the whole journey, all the way from Singapore to Japan, to the US and Switzerland. Yeah, I think this is probably the most grateful thing that I would say has happened to me. In fact, probably the best thing that has happened to me.
It's quite amazing to be able to say that. I have to admit on my side, I do share a lot of things that you just said, but I'm not there yet to be able to say that what I'm the most grateful for, but I totally understand. If this plane could carry a message under its wings, what would it say?
Nothing is impossible if we could spell it out on the plane.
Thank you, Karen, for sharing your story. You went through an amazing journey, and you are the perfect example that sky is definitely not the limit.
I don't know if I can go to the moon, but
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much as well, Guillaume. It's a pleasure.